Last night, just outside number 10 Downing Street, anti-racism protests were turning violent for the third time in a week. Blood was pouring from the head of an unarmed police officer. Bottles and other sharp objects were being pelted at cops. Thugs were attempting to burn our flag on the Cenotaph, and the statue of our greatest ever Prime Minister, Winston Churchill, had been desecrated. If pro-Brexit campaigners had been responsible for such behaviour, it would have been headline news. This newsworthy event developed in the hours before the BBC's 10 p.m. bulletin went live. But such unacceptable and shocking violence taking place at the heart of Westminster was yet again virtually ignored by the corporation. Just like on Saturday night, when police horses had been attacked by this mob, resulting in serious injuries to a WPC, but Bede reporters either ignored or completely downplayed this violence. Their online headline was this: 27 police officers injured during largely peaceful anti-racism protests in London. Can someone please remind me the last time 27 cops were injured during a protest anyone with a right mind could describe as peaceful? Also brushed over, of course, was the complete lack of social distancing by the tens of thousands of protesters, despite the Home Secretary, Priti Patel, warning they shouldn't go ahead, given we're in the middle of a pandemic. The killing of George Floyd was despicable and has set off an important conversation about race relations in the US and around the world. I was heartbroken by what was an obvious crime, which is the latest in a long line of outrageous incidents of police brutality stateside. It's right to show support, and I believe in the aims of Black Lives Matter. That said, violence, looting, or rioting of any form can never be accepted. There is no excuse. We've all had to accept that our civil liberties have been curbed as part of the fight against coronavirus. I don't like it one bit, as you know, but I've gone along with it, for the most part, in order to help stop the spread of this terrible disease. That's why London Mayor Sadiq Khan showed himself to be an irresponsible hypocrite yesterday. He was supporting and encouraging the protests to go ahead on Saturday night. Then on Sunday at 9:05 a.m, he had the temerity to tweet, "Lockdown has not been lifted. The virus is still out there. I know it's tough, but please keep following the rules." What a jaw-dropping joke. As ever, media hypocrisy is out of control and at the heart of this issue. After 2 weeks of wall-to-wall outrage over the PM's assistant Dominic Cummings apparently breaking the spirit of lockdown rules, not the law, of course, just the spirit of the rules, out of concern for the welfare of his 4-year-old son, this flagrant breach in the form of a mass gathering the size of an outdoor concert 2 days in a row was seemingly accepted by liberal journalists as okay. Remember too, the extreme organisation Antifa, which is believed to be behind some of the violence, wants to overthrow the police force. They're dangerous anarchists and should not be confused with the vast majority of peaceful activists. There is no excuse for the BBC ignoring the violent part of this movement. Of course, the genuine peaceful protests deserved the coverage they got. But the fury over the cover-up by our taxpayer-funded public broadcaster is very real. So no wonder a new campaign to defund the BBC has gained such momentum over the past 48 hours.